Hey, hello again. So, it's been a while. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while since the last upload. Been busy and been waiting for parts. So, here we are again. Whoop, sorry. Hang on. We're getting there. Right there, alright. So we're back with the AGT Flail mower. And remember, we broke the hammer. And finally got some parts to replace it with. So yeah, we broke a hammer. I ordered some new ones. They appear to be very similar in construction. These are not AGT parts. I got these off of eBay from Titan Attachments. I think they're in Tennessee. Because when I went looking for the AGT hammers, or knives, or whatever you want to call them, they were $65 a piece on Amazon, if I remember correctly. These were $80 for 5. I may notice I had 3 of them in my hand because 2 of them managed to escape during shipping. There's a warrant out for them, but I don't think we're going to have much luck finding them. So I called the manufacturer, and they're going to take care of it. They're out of stock right now, but as soon as they're back in stock, they're going to get me some replacements for that. Yeah, the box was annihilated, retaped. It was rough. Shipping. Yeah. Anyway, so this appears to be 5/8 diameter. Should fit. We got to get the bolt off of there and see what we got to determine whether or not it's going to work or not. If I remember correctly, the bolts that I use for the quick coupler on the excavator are 5/8 diameter, and then they use the 15/16 wrench. The nut on this happens to be 1 inch. I just had to grind on the head, because remember, I welded these nuts to keep them from coming apart so that the hammers didn't fly away and kill somebody. So I think just for giggles here, we're going to throw a 4-foot breaker bar on that bolt just to see if I can get it to move. I did weld through that, but remember, I welded through the nylon lock nut, and it was a very crappy weld, so I welded it twice. So I'm just curious to see if I can break the thing in half. Whatever. All right, so let's see what happens here. All right, so ooh, something happened. I didn't even have to really put a whole lot of effort into that. Yeah, so. Huh. All right. Let me rummage around here for a 1/2-inch drive socket. Alright, so a little extension, universal, 15/16 socket. Alright, let's see what we got. It started to go, but then it kind of quit. I don't know about that nut. Ooh, yeah, the horror. I don't think that's gonna thread back together. Okay, so hopefully we got good lighting and all that stuff. So here's the broken hammer. All right. So it just kind of broke in the center there. So there's the replacement from Titan Attachments. They appear to be exactly the same. So we should be good parts wise. Looks like the hole on the Titan attachment is actually a little bit more centered. So that should work. Now the question is, what do we do about the bolt and the nut? Because where'd the nut go? It's still in there. So the the idea of welding this, so obviously the only part that actually had weld on it was like right there. So, and obviously the nylon is all melted and no good. So I don't know if we're going to be able to reuse this hardware or if I have to take a penalty trip to Tractor Supply. I might just say send it with the impact and see what we got, and then just weld it again in order to get this thing back up and running, because I do have some more mowing I got to do with it. I mowed along the county road out here and it did help a lot, but actually I got to go a little higher, so I got to go back through with that. And then there's a project up at the neighbors that we're going to be doing some mowing up there. So let's get this thing put back together and move on with our lives. So make sure it's pointed in the right direction. So probably just going to get one chance at this to get it perfectly lined up so that it threads on. Think that's going in? Seems like it. Oh yeah. I'm not going to get too crazy torquing that down because it is cross-threaded and the threads are pretty much annihilated, so I don't want to just strip the whole thing out. And remember, I'm going to weld on it in a second here, as soon as I can detach the other wrench here. There we go. Now the big question is, will the welder reach over here without having to do all kinds of craziness? Looks like it will. So I do have the garden hose here in case any of the sparks decide to have a party with this wooden pallet or any of the dried grass that's in there. I actually already kind of washed this down, wet it down a little bit to discourage that kind of thing. Yeah, you don't want everything burning up. Helmet. You need a helmet. I need that wrench. What do I do with the wrench? So I gotta find the other spot. There it is. So I welded the one side, and then I kind of rotated all these 90 degrees, and then welded another spot. So I just wanted to find that second spot and hit that one too. Dirt. There. So, there. It only took like, what, 2 weeks to get the hammer replaced? And it took about a week to get the replacement parts, and then, just had a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And today, it's Saturday something, June something. The Saturday before Father's Day, so today was like a catch-up day for a lot of stuff. I had to help the Sprout with some chicken chores and other stuff, but so now this thing's back in operation. I'll do some more work with it, and obviously some more videoing. After the next 2 projects, I'll probably do like a formal review of the mower and what my old. For now, I think we're okay. So I don't know if I'm going to do any mowing tonight with this thing or tomorrow even, but so far, so good. Got that back in place. I found a source for better, cheaper hammers. So, I mean, clearly obvious that, the Titan hammer fits. And you know what? Now that we're looking at this spine on the back here is definitely thicker on the Titan hammer than it is on the AGT hammer. Now, it's kind of hard to see with that one being broke, but maybe if I can get a caliper, get a little scientific on that. Alright, so we got our trusty analog caliper here, and it ain't digital, so just bear with me. So I'll try to find like an average spot on that thing. So on the Titan hammer, the thickness of this spine is 1/4 inch on the back, and it's the same 1/4 inch all the way up and down. So the entire length of that spine is about 1/4 inch. On the AGT one, it starts out about 1/4 inch, but then it's down to, the hell is that? 3/8? No. What am I looking at here? This is why I like digital calipers. I grew up with calculators in school. Don't judge me, okay? I'm a millennial. That's a 1/16. That's an 1/8. 3/16, duh. 4/16 is 1/4. It's just a little, takes a little longer to get to the calculator's better. Anywho, so it starts out at 1/4. Yeah, I realize I'm repeating myself, but what's it actually at the very end tip there? Yeah, so just under, so it's probably like a 32nd under 3/16. So this spine on the AGT hammer actually gets narrower as it goes down on the back of the hammer, and on the front, kind of hard to say, but okay. This one is thicker. There's a lot more meat in this part than there is here. This comes up, to a lot thinner profile through there. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. My fingies are very scientific. Yeah, this one is definitely thicker. So this is beefier, for sure. I wonder if we were to remove one of these and put it on a scale next to one of these, how it would compare, but we'd have to do a brand new one because, you know, these are wore at this point. You know, they've hit debris, you know, the cutting edge is wore down, probably even some of the surface material is wore off. Whatever paint this is, you know, is gone. So, you know, this would clock in lighter than this brand new one. So it wouldn't be a fair comparison the way it sits right now, but this one is definitely thicker. So there's probably a lower risk of this one fracturing versus that one, the AGT one. So I'm pretty sure that as time goes on, I'm going to be replacing these with the Titan Attachments brand. That being said, knowing that there is more material here, I am now wondering how this is going to rotate, if it's going to be out of balance or not. And that was why I had originally gotten the Titan Attachments, because it came in a 5-pack, which, you know, we got the one. Well, these aren't really, I mean, what are these? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then that one there. So they're sort of clocked 90 degrees opposite of each other. Because I was thinking, you know, maybe that, you know, if I replace one, I'd have to replace 4 of them in order to keep everything balanced, you know, along the center line of the shaft. But I think we're just gonna go with it. So we'll spin this thing up, not right now, not tonight, because, yeah, I got my tilt bucket on the excavator right now, so I'm not gonna screw around trying to remount this thing. I've got it on this spare pallet here, just to make it easier to move around. So I'm just gonna set this aside for now, and then when the time comes to actually, you know, run this for the next project, then we'll spin it up. But I'm just curious to know that if it's gonna wobble or not. Because I will tell you this, when that did break, I was up, you know, mowing alongside the pumpkin patch, and it did wobble. It wobbled crazy. It was the kind of wobble where you're like, okay, how much time do I have before something else breaks? And I need to finish my mowing. And I'm like, we'll just push it a little further. And luckily it didn't disintegrate. But probably should put more grease in this bearing, because it was wobbling pretty good. So probably bits of wisdom here: don't run the thing out of balance, because you're just asking for problems. I pushed the envelope that night because I had to finish the project, and I didn't want to have to come back and do it by hand. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Got the hammer replaced. More to come. Eventually we're going to do some tech videos on the Tech Billy channel. Oh, by the way, yeah, welcome back to the Tech Billy channel. Maybe I'll edit in a proper welcome up front on this video. But I've got some tech related videos. We got to put up some wireless access points on the property for outdoor Wi-Fi. So I will show you how that goes, and look forward to that. All right, well, have fun. Have a good night.